The funny thing is, the composer's the same guy throughout all the games, all of Paradox Studios games, Europa, Universalis.
Incredible. They found a guy that could do it, and they stuck with him.
But sadly, he's quit. Just to add a sad little ending to the thing, he no longer is the composer.
No. Is that why they keep supporting Stellaris for 10
years?
Yeah,
maybe.
Because they can't make another one. Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of everyone's favorite podcast, the Critical Arcade Podcast. I'm your co-host, Nick.
And I'm Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Nick. Are you well?
Yes, I'm overwhelmed.
Whoa.
That sucked. That was horrible. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm well. Crazy. But I tried to sandwich the well with an over and a humd.
Yeah, no, I saw it. No, I felt it. I felt it just crawl over my skin when you did that. And it
that was
didn't feel
nothing.
Good.
I'm sorry.
Why are you overwhelmed?
Jeez, because of this week's game. I mean, usually we've got some preamble, but... We'll get into it. But no, this week's game had a proper go at me, and I couldn't do anything about it.
It feels like we should phone the police. Like you should be blurred out on one of those like the interview screens. Like, oh, so tell me, what did this game do to you? Oh,
and then I've got an uncomfortable 10 seconds.
Yeah,
I
that's
look
right.
around at all the cops' faces.
Yeah, and you've got that
I shed a tear.
The voice change thing on your I was out one night and then I met this game.
They came out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
they had 25 scenes. Different resources, Captain.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, well, this week it's one of those games. I don't know if you'd ever heard of it before. I know I hadn't heard of it. It's a game called Stellaris. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Is it Stellaris?
Stellaris. You've not heard of Stellaris?
Sorry?
You've not heard of it before?
I never heard of this game before. I know I've heard of the series of games. I know Paradox Studios. Anyway, this was Stellaris. It was made in 2016, and it was developed by Paradox Development Studio, who also published it at the same time. And I'd heard of Paradox Studio because they've been around for a really long time. I didn't know they'd been around for such a long time.
Okay. What else have they made?
They made... Okay, this is... Again, Crusader Kings is probably the only other one I'd heard of. Have you ever heard of... Their other games are Europa... I'm going to say this wrong. Europa Universalis, Hearts of Iron, Victoria, Crusader Kings, and Imperator, which are very...
Jeez, goodness, those are some titles.
They sound very like I'm going to rule the world titles, which granted,
yes, those are some grandiose headings.
Yeah, and I know I definitely heard of Crusader Kings. I'd not heard of any of the other games before, but by all accounts, this isn't really my genre that I normally play. Have you heard of them? Have you?
I've heard of some of them. I have heard, obviously, of Crusader Kings. I've heard of Stellaris. So when the list gave us Stellaris, all hell the list.
All hell the list.
I knew what we were getting into.
I didn't. All I saw was like a sci-fi, what looked like a sci-fi real-time strategy, and I was like, okay, I'm down with that. I played a bunch of real-time strategies. That's easy for me. That's my street.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, you've conquered Rome at one point.
Yes, I did personally, and just me personally conquered Rome. I was basically in 300.
Yes.
The movie.
What do you call the ruler of Rome?
David.
There's a name. Oh, anyway, I forgot it. You wear the little twig on your head.
Yes, that's what they called it. The little twig. Hell, the ruler of Rome and your little twig. I actually don't know the name either, but I do know what you mean. But did you know this game also came with 26 DLCs?
Woo! That's it, baby. That's what we're gonna get into.
26. What the? I was like, whoa.
I know.
Now, granted, there may be just packs and stories and like races and stuff like that, but damn, this game is chunky.
It's giving Sims a run for their
Yes,
money.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking, I don't know any other game that has that many packs and DLC and stuff.
It's tricky. It's a tricky situation, and I'm sure we'll get into it later, but that fact did not go unnoticed.
Yeah, I'd say so. This game, it's very hard to explain because this is fundamentally this is not a I thought this game was a real-time strategy, but this isn't really defined as a real-time strategy, is it?
It isn't?
This is known as a grand strategy.
Oh.
Because real-time strategies... Right. I was looking this up. Real-time strategies are like your...
Total War?
Total War is actually kind of defined as a grand strategy too. Real-time strategy is Command and Conquer.
I see. Like Warcraft 3?
Yeah, Warcraft 3. When you set up your little base, and then you start making your... Yeah, you start making your little men, get a little bit of resources.
I see. You got your squad of 4 guys, you got your scouts, you go above the hill.
That's right, and you just like you win over a map, like a small area of a map.
Okay.
This is more of a grand scale, i.e. you're taking over a world, or in this regard, space itself, or a galaxy. And in Total War, you're taking over Europe or the Americas, or whatever version of Total War.
Yeah.
So this is a grand strategy, and it's also known as 4X, which I've never heard of this before.
What does this mean? What are you saying?
I know. I thought this was all a deep hole that I didn't even know existed in the gaming world.
What is 4X? X?
Yeah, it's literally just porn. Sorry.
No, okay, yes.
Sorry. No,
for some people, this is.
It means explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. Which I don't...
Yes. Wow.
I thought that was kind of cool. I was like...
Is that like a tagline for this game? Or is
it should be, right? I thought that was a really cool little tagline for things when I found that out. Explore, expand, exploit, exterminate. I thought that was
was
really
that
cool.
a tagline given to this by the community?
Yeah, that sounds like... Granted, it sounds like it would be the community. But there are other games. This is now a genre of game, 4X Grand Strategy.
I see. Okay, so that's what I was getting at. There are other games like this.
Yes,
4X is a genre.
Yeah. It is now, yes. Which I didn't even know. I would have immediately just called this an RTS. I did not know this.
Either.
So that's this. I didn't know this. It's probably the first time I've played, apart from Total War, which I'd argue is kind of the same thing. Yeah. This is probably the first game I've played that is a full 4X grand strategy game.
Yes. I struggle to think if there's any grander strategy or setting than Stellaris. There is probably.
Yeah, that's true. Like the entirety of space. That is one grand setting to conquer, right?
And you can get into every minute detail.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Oh, and it might be a point to say, I played on the PC version, and Nick, you played on the PlayStation, right?
Okay, so let's just...
Oh, did it not work on the PlayStation? Go on.
No. This is... There were no performance issues. It worked.
Okay, I look forward to this, yeah.
Yes, I think we should get into gameplay, because that's gonna be a topic.
Okay, so we jump into narrative first, right?
Narrative, let's do it. So I think the narrative for a game like this could be quite it unfolds on its own, and it is what you make of it.
Yeah,
right?
it's a sandbox to some degree.
If you're a military general, yes, it's a sandbox, exactly. Yeah. It is what you make of it. It could be a pile of nothing. That's no fun. Or it could be this 4X grand strategy that you're fantasizing about. It could be that.
Yeah.
What I think is the allure for this game for most people is the setting.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Space. The final frontier, whatever.
Yeah. Star Trek.
I think a lot of people are really attracted to becoming this almighty decision-making, almost deity that can just run a galaxy.
Yes, that's exactly what this game is aimed at.
Yes.
It is becoming the overlord of space itself, albeit a good one or a bad one, if you want to rule by the iron fist or by trade or by just being nice and peaceful and just making everyone happy.
Or you could be subjectively everyone's friend, or you could be extremely objective and just buy everyone out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like the Lannisters or whatever from Game of Thrones. You just buy everyone. Yeah. But there was a ton of things. There was, again, this game is a sandbox, and it does let you do what you want. But there were two other things that they did later on add to the story, so it gives you a little bit more meat to it. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not.
They do add, as you played the game, I'm sure you must have come to it a little bit. You actually come across like an ancient alien race.
Yes, some ruins.
You find very Mass Effect. I always thought every time we found a bit, it's like, oh look, the ancients. And later on, that kind of builds into a small little story because you start finding more and more. Then you start potentially finding out the mystery of this alien race. And then as you continue a bit further, as you start kind of developing and starting taking over the universe, you can actually trigger a kind of like an end of days event for the universe, which they had to put in there because people were getting a bit it was getting a bit stale when you started just owning everything and you're just too powerful.
Yes, so there had to be an end game. This is why games need end games.
Exactly. So they put
if a game is hundreds of hours.
Exactly.
There needs to be something you're working towards.
So yeah, they put in, I think, 1 or 2 actual end game scenarios which flipped the whole script and everything, where I won't spoil it for people because they're actually kind of cool. Their concepts are pretty cool, where they actually they stop it from just being, oh, now I own everything, to holy crap, I own everything, but now that's all pointless because I now have to do this. I have to save the galaxy.
Because the White Walkers are coming over the wall.
Yes, that type of aspect. Yeah, exactly. Or the Zerg are coming to eat everyone and stuff like that. You know, that type of a threat comes in. Oh, on that note, did you, out of curiosity, I know you're kind of a sci-fi fan, aren't you? I know you like.
I'd say kind of is right. Yeah.
You like Warhammer slightly, and you know your stuff. You know your Star Wars.
I am a big fan of Warhammer 40k.
Yeah. Did you note any of the Easter eggs? Because this thing is full of Easter eggs. Absolutely full of them.
No,
really.
I did not. I was sitting, for the majority of this time, I was sitting with my hand through my hair, just sighing deeply.
Oh, yeah.
That's the majority of my playthrough.
Because it's so much, right? Because you were overwhelmed.
I don't know. I don't think people get how much this game is by just saying it's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Out of curiosity, let's see. There, when you meet things or you find things, you sometimes get these little traits that they have, right? Little forms of governments, they called them in the game, I think.
Okay.
And there was one. Let's see if you can recognize the sci-fi aspect. There's one called
Lay it on me.
Driven Assimilators. Does that remind you of anything?
Driven Assimilators.
They assimilate people. This would be hard.
I don't.
You need to know your Star Trek.
Oh, damn. I don't have any Star Trek knowledge.
That's fine. That's the Borg, which you probably don't know.
I don't know. I don't know who the Borg is. Oh.
Okay, how about Determined Exterminator?
Exterminator. Well, that's just the Terminator.
Nice. Well done. It's that's right. Well done.
Yeah.
The Devouring Swarm.
Ooh. This could be a lot of things, actually. Wouldn't it be the Swarm from StarCraft 2?
Yes, correct. That is correct.
Hell yeah. Okay, I'm back. I'm 2 for 3.
Citizen Service.
Oh, gosh.
There's 2
Citizen Service.
Yeah, there's 2 in theory to this.
Shit, I can't even find one. There's some listeners. Really hard. There's some listeners just shouting into their headphones at me right now.
You could argue
Citizen Service?
Citizen Service, yeah.
I can't get it.
Well, the original one, because this game was made before Helldivers came into play, was Starship Troopers.
Oh,
it's a nod at Starship Troopers because
and then by extension Helldivers as well.
Yeah, exactly, by extension Helldivers. But there's supposed to be loads of tiny little Easter eggs depending on even books you read, be it
well, of course.
1984, The Thought Police and stuff like that. There's supposed to be tons of little tiny nods of sci-fi.
well.
Yeah, some Neuromancer. And that's fun. When you bump into those things, that is a ton of fun just to nod into and go, whoa, I know what you're talking about.
I struggle to comprehend that there would be a group of people, not to play this, that makes a lot of sense, this game's good, but to make this would take...
Oh, yeah, you're not wrong.
Oh, wow, how do you make something like this?
You're not wrong.
Just the systems necessary to have something like this balanced.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm getting into gameplay.
Yeah, you are. That's very true. Anyway, granted, narratively, that is kind of everything there because it is a sandbox. There's not much else pulling you through.
Yes.
You're exploring worlds, you're scanning planets, and you're building your own story. So that narratively, that's about it. So should we jump to video then?
Before we do this, the narrative. I was wondering as I was playing this. There's one particular game that I couldn't stop thinking about. That this game was very much alike to this other game. Mm-hmm. Do you know what other game this is very much alike to?
Homeworld? I've only played... I don't know. There's a...
Maybe. I don't know. I've not played Homeworld. Have you ever heard of... you remember who made the original Sims?
Oh, is it Piraxis?
No, it's Maxis.
Oh, okay. I was close.
Right,
go on,
I think.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
The guy who made Sims also owned that company. I can't even remember his name. Let's call him Tim Maxis.
That's perfect.
Tim, after the success of The Sims and The Sims 2, he made another game. Another game that was supposed to be the biggest, most open and expansive sim that's ever been made and will be made. Can you remember what it was?
And it was space themed.
Yeah, kind of. It eventually turned space themed.
Oh no, I'm pulling up blank. What was it?
Spore.
Oh yeah, you could customize your own alien thing, right?
Yes.
And raise
you make your little creature out of.
I remember Spore.
Spore was great.
I never played it. I remember it coming out. I never played Spore. I never touched it.
It's aged. I don't think it's aged that well, and it's on the list somewhere.
Ah, of course it is. All hell the list.
All held the list. So one day we're going to be playing Spore.
Okay, yeah. This reminded you of that game.
Well, I'm getting to that. The entire game of Spore is set in 5 main stages, right? You're a little amoeba floating around in the ocean, and then you turn into a creature kind of rummaging around the world looking for food, and then you're a tribe, being a tribe, conquering other tribes, and then you're a city.
Okay.
Trying to go for world domination. That's stage 4. And the 5th stage is space travel.
Okay.
This was Spore's end game. And was... while the first 4 stages you could kind of complete in a Saturday, the 5th stage would take weeks or months.
Oh, really? Really? That's kind of elaborate. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you were a little spaceship and you would travel from system to system, almost exactly like Stellaris.
Oh, really?
You would conquer, you would make friends, you would make alliances, you would gain more and more and more footing in the galaxy that you're in until you control like 70% of all systems. And then there would be this big old endgame bad guy that would almost for surely destroy your entire civilization.
Why did I not know this about Spore?
A lot of people don't, because that's the 5th stage and it's behind the cutesy, cartoony little creature simulation.
That's the only thing I know about Spore is that you can make your own cutesy little alien.
Most people know.
It's the only thing I know about Spore is that you get the cutesy little alien things that you can make. That's it. That's the only thing I know.
Yeah, the end game of Spore would take dozens, maybe even hundreds of hours, and it would be shockingly similar to Stellaris.
That is crazy.
Spore.
I didn't know that. That's mad. Okay, I get the connection now. That's crazy. I am genuinely shocked, but you've just pulled back the curtain from the Wizard of Oz. I didn't know there was a fully fleshed out game behind Spore that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a
I think they marketed this game towards kids or preteens.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, again. Yeah,
can you imagine a little 12-year-old Jimmy having fun with his snail monster, and now all of a sudden he's tasked, hey, little Jimmy, with your snail monster, conquer the galaxy. Go, do it. I'm watching.
True. That is a bit much. That is like, but I just want him to play with his friends. I just
Yeah,
want him
he's
to
got
have
some
fun.
snail friends. Little snail Sarah's coming over for a
It's a shame,
play date.
that is a lot.
No! Make diplomacy.
Yeah, you can't spell it, but make it. But anyway,
Anyway.
weird tangent there. Video. What did you think visually of the game?
Visuals. Oh, this is easy. This game's beautiful.
You enjoyed the visuals then on the
Of
on
course,
the PlayStation.
who wouldn't enjoy this visuals? The scale is just absurd, and
Yeah.
I'd say very much as to how the scale is actually in space.
Yeah.
But
The scale is massive, no doubt.
it's pretty.
Yeah, it is very pretty. The space, of course, it's very hard not to fall in love with the romance of looking at space and the weird galaxies and the stars and the special colors of the gases and stuff like that. That's always fun. There's always something you get lost in there.
Yeah.
And of course, at the beginning of the game when you get to choose your aliens, the really fun collection of wacky and weird looking cyclops humans and fungoids, weird fungus men, and blorgs.
That's just cool. That's just so cool.
Yeah,
It's not just humans and
that's
Martians
what I mean.
in the galaxy.
There was the custodian robots, the reptilian orbs,
Nice.
the Taiyanki, and there were space whales. And you can never go wrong with a space whale because, except for of course the space whales from the Marvel movies. I don't know what they're called, but they didn't seem that nice. I thought I did, like you said, I liked the characters because they were a bit different. They're just not normal, like your aggressive looking Klingon.
That's good. That's fun. I think for my initial playthrough, I just went as the humans.
Oh, did you? That's so boring.
I did. I know. I couldn't take anything more than what I had to because this console version.
Yeah, I can see it was probably limited.
It was tough.
It was like you're not one of those people that if you picked up Baldur's Gate 3 that you'd pick human paladin.
Absolutely not. No.
Good,
I've played
because that's what
D&D
most
too
people
many
did.
times.
Yeah, human paladin. Like, come on, people. I picked some weird. I can't remember. Have you played Mass Effect 3?
No.
You haven't, have you? I chose some insect-looking fella that was all about. I forget his name. About making money. I thought I'd be some evil merchant who was just going to make money out of everything. So they were very pretty. I thought very wacky alien designs. Space was good. Yeah. I did actually think the ship designs were kind of boring. I thought the ships and the research ships and everything like that. I thought they were.
You're right. You're right. Oh, big space freighter A.
Yeah, and they kind of. Again, this might have just been me. But on the map, when you're trying to look for your research ship or your building ship or your battleship, they kind of all looked the same. Can't there be some sort of really big difference between them?
I mean, it would be cool, but for a game that's striving for future sci-fi realism, it kind of makes sense.
I just want, granted, maybe I'm too spoiled with all the, I want the Normandy to be my attack ship, and I want the Enterprise to be my scanning ship. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking for too much.
Screw it, balls to the wall. Give me a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, exactly. Give me. I must admit, when I was looking at the map, and then you go just move your starship there, and I'm looking at the overview, and I'm just looking for where the hell's the symbol for the starship one, like because you got those little round dots symbolizing which ship is ship. Yeah. Sometimes I couldn't find it, and I found that kind of frustrating. I thought, which one's the bloody research ship?
I know, that does suck. I get that is why they give the menu to the right, but
how was it on the PlayStation though? Because I'm doing this with a mouse.
Ooh. It's
sorry, we're probably talking gameplay again. It's so easy to slip into gameplay.
No, the visuals.
Visuals. Yeah,
no,
sorry.
That's UI. I can talk about the UI.
Yes, you can. That's true. Go on.
So they did not scale down the UI for the console version because they couldn't.
Yeah, that's true. It's too
There's
much to
no
manage,
possible way to scale this down even smaller than it already is. You're commanding a galaxy.
Yeah,
how the hell can with just the D-pad control a galaxy?
Yeah, you can't just press up to manage resources or down to check on trade or something like that.
So that's kind of what they did.
Oh, really?
You've got a bar on all sides of the screen. So if you press up, you're now interacting with the top bar. If you press down, you're interacting with the bottom bar.
Yeah. I can see
and you can exit the bars by pressing circle. This is 1,000,000% a PC game.
Yes, agreed.
You absolutely need a mouse to traverse this UI, because that was fine using a D-pad to get to the panels on each side, but once you started getting like text boxes full of different buttons that need to be pushed, interactions that need to be made, then it gets tricky.
Did your analog sticks not like turn into a mouse cursor or anything like that?
No.
Oh, really? You had to just keep pressing up and down and stuff on your keypad?
Yes.
Oh, that's old school. Damn, that's crazy.
I know. And I guess it's fine, but I picked the console version because I thought it'd make an interesting conversation between me and myself.
Different perspective.
Because you picked the PC version, and I've now got the different perspective on the console version. I regret that decision.
Well, I'm like I said, I'm always intrigued how it even works. Like, agreed. I see an RTS or a grand, and I think, PC. You have to play these games with PC.
Yes.
I'm genuinely shocked they ported it to a console because. Again, like you've just pointed out, how the hell do you port a game like this to a console? How do you play a game like this on a console?
They did it. And this game, I mean, it's old. It came out, I wouldn't say, okay, maybe not old. It came out in 2016, the same year Dark Souls 3 did, Arkham Knight did. It's been around for almost a decade.
Do you know it's still going, by the way? It's still...
Of course.
It's still updating. It still keeps going. It's still getting updates. It's still getting DLC.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was someone still playing their original game from 2016.
Yeah, that's great. It's got a fan base. It's got a really avid, big, still alive going fan base.
Yes.
Which is
if you make a game this big, good for the target market, then yes, I can absolutely imagine the fan base, the target market. They would go. They'd be ravenous for more DLC.
But it is remarkable. Like I said, I've never played this type of game. I don't think it's your type of game, but it always makes you smile to see that there are so many people out there that this is their type of game.
Yes.
Everybody talks about Dark Souls and talks about Final Fantasy or talks about the next Sims or whatever's coming out.
The big ones.
But there are so many people
Halo,
who love...
God of War.
Exactly. Love this management strategy, just sitting there and planning their domination on a map or the world scale. And I think that's really cool that there are people out there just sitting here just loving micromanaging every little thing, gold reserves and their alien races and knowing that all these they're getting the games they want is just a kind of cool. There's a cool feeling, right?
So it's great. Once some 15-year-old realizes that Call of Duty isn't doing it for them anymore. They can go look somewhere else instead of just banging their head on the same dumb game over and over. And they find what they're looking for.
That's what I mean. It is cool. It's cool that they're out there.
There's someone out there tired of just running around as Kratos, and they want to run a galaxy. If they find this, if they scratch that itch, it's magical.
It is
and there
fun.
are so many back scratches. Sorry for the weird metaphor. In gaming.
Yeah, agreed. There is a game for everyone. You're right. Nowadays, there is a game for every little... trait or every little hobby or every little thing you like. You'll find. Hell, look at Power Wash Simulator. You like squirting things with water. There's a game for you. Yeah, go wash a car.
Perfect
go nuts.
example. I'm so happy that indie games or games on a smaller and more niched scale are getting more limelight. Right?
Agreed.
It's not just the big titles anymore. People are growing tired with these big titles that can't deliver what they need to. Take a look at Starfield. People want Skyrim in space. Starfield isn't it.
No, it really isn't. Starfield's kind of boring. Anyway, we're going to digress. We're going to go in one of our tangents again.
Oh, you're right.
Okay. One thing visually, and I've got to put it out there is a lot of text. Get ready to read and read and read and read. Now, a lot of it is quite interesting, and if you love sci-fi books or just love reading fantasy and stuff like that, you got a lot to read here. A lot of fun. But there is a ton to read. There is so much. Every planet, every researching thing, every trait, every tradition, every ship, every single thing has text and discoveries, and you really do have to kind of read it because it affects what decision you make later. So it's, this is a huge levels of reading. But if you like that, again, this builds the world around you, then go with it. But this was... It's weird because we're so spoilt now with how much great voice acting we have.
Just follow the waypoint diamond.
Yeah, exactly.
And you'll finish the mission.
There was every 6 minutes something would happen and a text box comes up and you're reading.
6 minutes? That's cool. No way. Every 30 seconds I get a text box.
I was thinking about you because I know you play in your living room on the TV, and I know you only get late night when the kids are asleep, and I was wondering how often you fell asleep playing the game. Not that this game's boring, it's just there's a lot of reading, and most people go to sleep when you read.
That's it. You're right. If you're playing games to relax, you've had a big, hard day of work, and you try to play this, most of us will fall asleep because it is a lot of reading. Even if you are interested in the gameplay or the setting, it's gonna...
Oh, it does.
It's gonna put you to sleep.
100%. Did you go to sleep playing this game?
Yes.
I thought so. But ladies and gents, he has gone to sleep playing other action games too. He's just a very tired man at the moment. But yeah, I was playing this with all the reading. I was falling sleepy. Yeah, exactly. I was falling sleepy reading the 19th box of text, and I was thinking, there's no way Nick is still awake playing this. There's just no way. Again,
it's impossible.
And again, it's not that it's bad, it's just a lot. And at night when you're reading, and I think most people will attest that if you read books at night, you fundamentally start getting sleepy, and then you go to sleep. But anyway, anything else visually you want to add?
No, I wrote something about the James Webb Space Telescope, but no, that's fine.
Okay, anything audio then, Mr. Audio Man?
Yes, the audio, I think, one thing regarding audio that this game does quite well, not only is it obviously an incredible soundtrack, but I think the background music is some of the best in video games that I've ever heard.
Oh, wow. Now that is a big praise.
Well, yeah, it strikes a balance. It strikes a balance between not only being entertaining, but being able to keep your brain focused on the game.
Yeah,
very few background music tracks can do this. One of the few ones that I can immediately think of is the galaxy map background track in Mass Effect on the Normandy.
I love that song. That song always gets stuck in my head. Yeah, it gets stuck in my head all the time.
That is the perfect one that I can compare to the background music in Stellaris. So you're not just looking at the galaxy map, but the entire game's background music gives off that.
That same...
Gives off that. Yes, this is music that you can study to.
Yeah, no, I got you. I get what you mean.
It's not just something that you can pull off. This takes a lot from a composer to manage this.
The funny thing is, the composer's the same guy throughout all the games, all of Paradox Studios games, Europa, Univalis.
Incredible. They found a guy that could do it, and they stuck with him.
But sadly, he's quit. Just to add a sad little ending to the thing, he no longer is the composer.
No. Is that why they keep supporting Stellaris for 10 years?
Yeah, maybe.
Because they can't make another one.
Because, he no longer works for them. I never got to find out the whys or the hows. I guess he's gone on to better things, hopefully. But he's no longer their soundtrack or music director.
It reminds me of the composer of the Doom games. I can't remember what his name was.
Oh, the Doom games music was great.
Yes, the metal soundtrack. But you know the story, right?
Not entirely, no. I know his music. I grew up to that music.
Mick Gordon.
Yeah.
He was the composer for Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus, and Doom Eternal. excellent.
Nice.
Excellent. Those Doom soundtracks go hard.
Go hard. They do
Anyway,
go hard.
So id Software, or management at id Software, commissioned him to make the soundtrack. He did an excellent job. People still use that music everywhere.
Yeah, no.
And they, I think, just paid him too little, too late.
Mm-hmm.
And or didn't credit him for his music, or used it places where he didn't allow them to something.
Yeah.
And got into legal shenanigans. So Mick sued them.
Okay, seems reasonable. Yeah.
I might be getting this wrong, but there was just it was a very, very nasty breakup between possibly the best part of the Doom games, aside from the gameplay, and the composer of those best parts, Mick Gordon. It was a shit show.
Yeah, I think I remember reading something along these lines. I can't remember the details, but I do remember reading something along these bits.
So, anyway, Mick Gordon and Doom is reminding me of Stellaris and its composer. One of the best parts of the game has now cut ties, and that's sad.
It is sad. It always makes you feel... And then again, I looked at the AI... not AI, sorry, the voice actors for the game, because there's not... Again, thank God that the AI companion robot, he speaks...
He speaks. Because, thank goodness. I don't know what I would do if he didn't.
Again, ladies and gents, this game is very vast. The gameplay has a lot to it. We'll get that in a minute. And you get this little AI friend who actually explains each bit to you. He talks to you whilst you're doing all the reading.
Yes.
And if he wasn't there, I don't even know if I'd have left my own solar system in regards to inside the game.
I think the tutorials very well done, and a lot of it is thanks to this little robot friend and his voice acting.
I feel like they must have made the game. I feel like they made the game initially without the AI companion, and I think people started the game and said, "What am I supposed to do? I don't know. Where am I supposed to go?" And then they put the AI guy in because he's there for a long time. He does not leave your side. It's not like a tutorial bit and then he just disappears. He is there through the entire ride
for loads of hours.
Yeah,
that
and thank
AI
God,
Wall-E robot is running the galaxy, not you.
Because I'm one of those people, you know, when you start a game, and we've been gaming for a long time, I'm kind of one of those idiots that's like, oh, I'm a gamer. I don't need to do tutorials, right?
I know what I'm doing. I jam all the time.
Yeah, I've been doing this for years, and so I got into the game. I'm like, okay, I'll ignore everything, and I click there. Okay, I got ships, got space. This is my planet. Okay, I know what to do. And I'm sitting there for 5 minutes. I'm like, what do I do? What are these resources? What's this on the right? And I'm like, oh god, I don't know.
That's what I did with WWE 2K25.
Yeah, you feel like that you're experienced now, so you don't need the tutorial. And then I saw my little AI friend, and I was thinking, oh, thank God. Yeah. Oh, thank God you're there. So yeah, and he was fully voiced.
It's excellent. It really is.
But sadly, again, the voice actors, I couldn't find anyone of real note. They only really work with these games. And again, it's kind of sad, but they don't really go on to be much else. I don't know them in any of the other projects they were in, except for this game. So, but it was quite good. The AI voice actor for the AI robot was not too bad. It wasn't anything extraordinary,
he
but it
even had
wasn't
a
too
joke
bad.
or two.
Sorry?
He even had a joke or two.
Yeah, no, he was funny, but apart from that, it was just the soundtrack and him talking, right? I didn't find the spaceship noises or the actual sound effects to be revolutionary. I thought they were very basic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What did you think?
It's all about when it comes to the audio for this game. I found all about the soundtrack. Really, there were minimal sound effects. Okay, you got your user interface sound effects like
the
bleep,
bloop,
bloop, entering a menu, pop, exit the menu, whatever.
Yeah.
But it really is the soundtrack. It's really good. I mean, using synths,
of course,
all good sci-fi media.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
And they keep things, I found, soft and slow enough. Because it understands when it is the main audio focus, but it shouldn't be the main focus of the entire game. That goes to gameplay.
Yes, agreed. Nice segue. So what did you think of the gameplay?
The gameplay is I can finally say it.
Go on.
The console version is not it. It's not it, Chief. Go play on the computer.
Well, you're saying that like the PC version, the computer gameplay was top notch. Like it was great.
No.
It was amazing. It felt so great, the PC version. But anyway, why was it not good on the PlayStation?
And I took over a solar system. So intuitive.
Why was it not good? Just the control
just
scheme
because you've just got a controller.
Yeah.
Controllers are very ergonomic. They're very intuitive for playing games, but not this type of game.
No.
Not these games. No ways. Not this.
Too
this
menu
is for
focused,
PC.
right?
Yes, you need a keyboard and you need a mouse. That's what you need. The controller's great for, I don't know, action adventure game. Your Uncharted, Bloodborne, God of War, Halo, Gears of War. Those are controller games, not this.
Can you even, like, I was just realizing now, I don't think I've ever played a game like this on a console. Can you grab, like, a group select? You know, if you had, like, 6 ships and you wanted to select all of them, can you drag a box across them in regards to a console?
Never tried.
Like a controller? Yeah, I'm sorry, it just dawned on me now, because I'm just here with my mouse just dragging and dropping boxes all over the place like some sort of pro. I was just thinking, can you even do that on a controller?
I don't know.
It must have been insane.
Yes.
I was literally just thinking your perspective. When I was playing it on the PC, there were so many times I'm thinking, how would you even do this on the PlayStation? Like, how I don't even know how. It must take 6 more steps than my 1-click to 2-click aspect of what I was doing.
That's it. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
You've got it. Everything that would take 2 clicks on a computer now have an additional 5 or 6 steps added just to be able to do the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Right, everything is.
And not just that, but you've got all the shortcuts on the keyboard, and your mouse can zip around quite quickly.
Of course.
You've got added steps on a controller, and it's slower.
Oh yes, it would have to be, right. Just go into each menu again, and it must be quite a degree slower.
Or you move your analog to the left. It shimmies across the screen until it reaches the left side after 2 seconds. It's slow.
Okay, apart from like the UI and stuff like that, what did you actually think of the gameplay?
I think the gameplay is. I think there's a definite target market for this type of gameplay.
Yes, agreed.
Right, this grand strategy, triple X, 4X gameplay. Sorry.
Yeah.
There is a clear target market for this, right? Yeah. If you're this aspiring data analyst in a high school and you've got your day off.
Yeah.
Maybe this you could fill your weekends with or something. But if you're like analyzing data, fixing big problems, making 10 micro decisions every second.
Yeah.
This is it.
Like optimization, right? Like properly
optimizing the solar system to increase trade between this leg of the galaxy, so that you can have enough resources to send your fleet to the opposition on the opposite leg of the galaxy. You can do that. You can optimize the hell out of it.
Yeah, agreed. It's one of those things that people always discuss this, and people always can say this about game reviews in general. Is this game reviewers who review games and they're not that type of, if they review a sports game but they're a fighting game type of person, I think we can both quite easily say this game isn't really our type of genre, right? We're reviewing it from
confidently.
A
I am not. Maybe I used to.
We can still enjoy it, but it's not it's not our acquired.
It's not
taste,
our cup of tea.
Right?
It's not our forte. It's not our specialization. Our interest.
Yeah,
we aren't the target market.
But at least we can say that. But it's still fun. We can still see it and say, "Whoa, this is for the people who like this game. This is pretty special."
Absolutely.
Because it's for us, it is intimidating. There's a ton of lore, and like you said, the micromanaging, the optimization, the trade agreements, the negotiation, the art of discovery is big in this. Going to planets and scanning it and finding microbes and new plant fauna and flora, and deciding what to research and deciding what not to research, and who to promote and who not to promote. There's so much in there, and if you're into that type of thing, it is really good. It's really very complex and detailed.
We can still appreciate and recognize
it really is.
what this is and who it's for, which isn't us.
The only thing sorry, go on, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, on the opposite end of the coin, the people that tend to play this for dozens of hours would probably get intimidated by the concept of a Persona game or Elden Ring.
Oh yes, of course. No, yeah, of course. Some games, yeah, of course. I think quick things with quick reflexes, or even sports games like football games. People who like micromanaging probably don't particularly like watching Ronaldo score a goal or playing cricket simulator games because they're boring. One thing I did find this game, which was a bit sad, because it's the part I was looking forward to most in this game, was the combat in space, right? Who doesn't want a gritty, full-on space combat with lasers and rockets and sound effects and explosions
just
and
this
stuff
big
like that?
space war epic.
Yeah, and sadly, I only got into a couple dogfights, fundamentally.
Can you even call them dogfights?
No, you just... It feels like a numbers game. If you've got 7 and they've got 4, you win. If you've got 6 and they've got 6, it's kind of
Isn't that what these people want? If you want dogfights, like I'm imagining dogfights, I don't know, you've got Star Wars Squadrons.
I was going to say, Star Wars. Did you ever remember...
Those are dogfights.
Did you ever watch... did you ever play Star Wars Empire at War? It was a game
years ago. Years ago, yes.
They actually had... It was a RTS again, but they had a space segment to that where you had your ships, and it's like 5 or 6 ships, but you could move them and control their actions and their special powers. And those fights were so good. They were so cool.
There you go.
And that's all I wanted from this. I wanted to be able to move my ship to like a flanking position and then like just control them so I could move them and do a little bit of strategy. But you couldn't do it. You just got to sit and watch. And that I thought was a bit... It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch because you do get to see all the lasers and the pew 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 and things die.
But it's
but you don't have any control
you're right.
on it.
It's a numbers game. It's
I was like, come on, I want to be Jean-Luc Picard and warp things behind them and fucking pincer movement, and it's more just a case of watching. That made me sad.
I get it. I absolutely get it. But in this case, I think there's an interesting thing to remember, that sci-fi is inherently a mixture of 2 different genres, science and fiction.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So it could be one based in science and one based in fantasy. Star Wars, I would say, is much more rooted in fantasy than it is in science.
Okay, yeah, I can see the needle going a bit more.
And I would say something like Stellaris would be rooted much more in science than it is fantasy.
Agreed. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
So even in this subgenre, it could even be categorized even more. You might enjoy Star Wars, but Stellaris would be it would be more science than fiction, where Star Wars is more fiction than science.
Yeah, agreed.
Is that making sense?
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
I think it's interesting to remember that even. Somebody who would enjoy Force Unleashed might very much not enjoy this, apart from the obvious gameplay differences.
Yeah, and I think, again, like we talked about earlier, I think the battles in this game, again, come down to, excuse me, how you manage your research again. Because, of course, you can take your ships and you can upgrade their shields or their missiles or their lasers and stuff. And depending if you've got that managed properly, depends on the outcome of your next fight. So if you're more upgraded than those ships, your chance increases. But if you didn't, your chance decreases. So, again, this is a grand management micro-simulation strategy game.
Yes.
Right? It really is. So every little decision you make actually has kind of a big outcome to every big thing you have later, which is a lot to think about. That's like big brain level of gaming right there, which is so much.
That's what these people want.
Yeah, it's like you could, in theory, I didn't research the shield 6 hours ago, and that's why I lost my ship. But now I do have an extra banana plant. So now my planet's thriving. Like, that's just...
Oh, yes. With my population at 65.
Yeah, right?
I can increase the production rate of my bananas.
Yeah, right? And if you're into that type of stuff, sadly, I get I'm not into it, but I do get how some people could be, because if you're like spreadsheets and you like that type of stuff, that chemical release when everything balances, and it's doing so well, I do get why you'd like that type of thing.
Absolutely,
This is the game
it's
for
a
you.
slow dopamine release.
Yeah,
but
it really
constant.
is. Yeah, exactly.
It's constant. I think a lot of people are kind of rolling our eyes at our banana analogy. It's true.
It is true.
It's true, everyone listening who has not played Stellaris. You get to manage the production rate of your bananas on some planets, and then 30 seconds later, yes, you're conquering another solar system on the other end of the galaxy.
Oh, definitely.
That's the scale of this.
And you can
Minute
micromanage
and
everything.
massive.
Yep. Which is a lot. It's a lot for like Nick and me who aren't playing these games a lot and know all the micromanaging things. It kind of reminds me. Have you played the Civilization games? Like the
Yes. I have lost many hours in the morning to Civilization.
Yeah, I've actually never played one. I know
wow.
that's a horrible thing to say. Everyone should have at least played one of them. Oh, I lie. I played Pirates once, which is not really... I know it's the same maker of the game.
That's still Sid Meier's... That's still a Sid Meier's game.
I know it's not really a great game, but I did play that.
I don't mind. I played Sid Meier's Golf. That's a bad game.
Wow, I didn't even... But that's kind of this type of game, but dumbed down, right? Because that's also managing hexagons and developing cities.
I think so, yes.
Anyway, I digress. There's a lot of game in this. I love the idea there's so many people into it and that this game is still alive after like 9 years.
It's incredible.
Whatever it is,
that
and
just
it's
goes
still
to
going.
show you that there is a thriving market for this.
That's
and
great.
if the game is good like this is, then it'll be a success.
Any performance issues you had or anything else?
I did have some.
Oh, out of curiosity, how? Like on the PlayStation, what was the performance?
So I think
issue?
it's because it's the console version. It works differently. While this game was made for PC, and it was obviously made for PC, now all of a sudden that entire game design needs to be ported over to the console, which was a massive task. And I would say they succeeded with a lowercase s.
Okay, it was just sloppy.
I wouldn't even call it sloppy. This isn't even the game's fault, but my DualSense, I've had this thing for 4 years, now has stick drift.
Yeah, they go that way.
Tiniest amount of stick drift. When I plug it into my PC, I can see the numbers jumping up and down, but I can't even see the little dot on screen move.
Yeah.
So it's the smallest amount of stick drift. But when I use this to play Stellaris, it moves the screen. It like does
on the overmap thing, like when you're just looking at space.
On the overworld, it does, and I think that's just because it's slightly too sensitive.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, you could be
where
right.
I think studios who've worked on consoles before realize that there should be some dead space in analog.
Yes. No, I agree. Yes, there has to be a bit of dead movement. Yeah, you can't have hypersensitivity. Yeah, I agree.
Yes, for controllers who've aged a couple of years with the smallest amount of stick drift to still be able to play this. It came to the point where I got so frustrated I put down the game because of almost non-existent amount of stick drift had an impact on this game.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, that would be frustrating. I can see that.
I just think it's inexperience with console editions. But then again, this is a tiny performance issue.
It is, yeah. That is a little nickel, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay, value for money. What did you think?
This one's tough. This is tricky.
It is tough.
You start.
I was shocked that this was still going. I was looking at value for money and I was shocked this game was still going. So this was hard for me to gauge. I thought this game would be finished. Like, okay, it's going to be on the Steam.
Because it's almost 10 years old, right?
Yeah, I thought it'd be on Steam, $10 or something like that. Nice, easy pay. And you can play it for whenever you want. But it's still going. It's still releasing. There's Steam, you can buy a subscription, like a DLC subscription pass or whatever to get all the DLC as it releases still.
Yes.
And like, bloody hell. This is for 9 years for a game. Again, I'd never heard of it, but that's probably on me. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
And it's 20,
I'm sure this game has made lots of money.
26 DLC. Now, they are, like Nick says, kind of like Sims. They're packs, a couple story packs, and like
a race.
Weapons and races and stuff like that. They're kind of little additions to things.
A new end of galaxy disaster type thing,
exactly.
like you mentioned earlier.
So they're not big overhauls. But so the
Gameplay
value
enhances.
Yes, yeah. So it's that. So overall, the value is hard to really gauge. I saw that on Steam, the I guess you'd call it the middle of the road pack, where it's got most of the DLC and the game itself is $30. Microsoft got it for $40, and PlayStation Network. It's free if you've got the PlayStation subscription. But it ranges from the base game from $10 and then to the game with everything and with all the new extras coming out is $50. And again, with it still being updated all the time, and if you love this type of game, because there is tons and tons there.
There really is. Even just the base game could entertain for the longest time.
Oh, really?
There is enough there, I'd say, to justify it being a big enough game. I'm not crazy about all this different DLCs they've added afterwards.
No, but that's again because this isn't really aimed at us, right? People who are.
But then I take a look at No Man's Sky. Right?
Yeah, of course.
The base game was shitty at launch, but they've added free update after free update after free update to turn this game into something enormous and enormously well done.
Yeah, they did fix it very well sometimes.
No DLC.
Yeah, it's
Paid
true.
DLC, I mean.
Yeah, it's true. Each one of these DLC for Stellaris was like $6 to $8, I think.
Yes.
When I looked at it just now. Yeah, that's true. No Man's Sky was all
quite
free.
Expensive. I mean, sure, $8 for one, but there's 26.
Yeah, that adds up. That's a lot of money. That's a ton of cash. Yeah, it is difficult.
It's difficult, but as we've been saying this whole time, if you're in this, if you hyper zoom in and this is your niche,
this is a good one. Yeah,
would that make it worth it? Would that value be worth more than the money you give it?
Yeah, it's like I was literally reading just a moment ago. Final Fantasy IX remake is the rumors are building up, and the 25th anniversary is coming up soon, and stuff like that. And I was thinking to myself, I'm going to have to buy it when it comes out, right? Because I'm a big fan. So somebody would be the same for this. You know, this is a all-encompassing sci-fi, micromanaging 4X grand strategy. If it's your type of thing, the answer is just yes. There isn't like is that expensive? If you love that type of thing. And it's still alive, and it's still going continuously. It's good value for money. And again, we've said it a few times, this isn't our type of game. So it's like for us, $30, $40, it's quite a lot. But if you love that type of game, and I don't know another that this, granted, we don't know, but I don't know another game that's just this deep and this rich with lore and world building and extravagance and stuff like that. I don't either. The value is quite good. Still a lot of money though.
It's still a lot of money.
It's hard. It is hard. It's a lot of cash.
But the value is good, and I struggle to think does this game feel bloated to you, or does everything into this game serve the game design? Because I always compare these things to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where
I was thinking the same thing.
It feels bloated, and it doesn't feel like it's serving the game design if you've gone to conquer the 50th Christian church.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. It's so hard to gauge what's difficult. Good content and what's fluff.
Bloated.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm not this far in this niche to be able to tell. My gut is saying no.
But you do have that seed of doubt, don't you? Because there are so many.
Of course I do.
There are so many starting races when you've got all the packs. I think there's like 17, and it does feel a little bloaty because a lot of the races, they all look different, but the characteristics are almost the same. Like there's 3 like trading ones, there's 3 humanoid-esque ones, there's 3 conquering ones, and you just think they're all the same thing, just a different skin.
Oh,
now you made me doubt it. I'm thinking, is this game...
I don't know. It was my intention. I mean, would the gameplay vary? Would a single playthrough be... I don't know. I don't know. Would you need to be able to play as all of the races to get the full experience?
I think the experience would repeat. Like
I think so as well. And I get Christian churches being demolished in Assassin's Creed Valhalla is also a repeated experience.
Yeah.
But the end of the game is locked behind.
Yes, that's true.
All of these little bloated activities.
Oh god, it's so
where
hard
that isn't the case for Stellaris. It's tricky, man.
It is. Game studios made it so hard to even determine if gameplay and the things inside games are deceptively just bloat and fluff and not really any good, or is actually story-based activity that you really want in games. But okay. Well, we could go on for... You've started an existential crisis now in both our brains in regards to what we're thinking.
I regret it. So
what did we grade this bad boy then?
Oh, man. Okay, wow. Our scores went out to conquer a new galaxy. Let's call it the Coffee Way. The scores went out to conquer the Coffee Way, one at a time. All of them got a couple of solar systems, but one of them found some ancient artifact that enabled him or her to conquer many, many more solar systems, which in the end crowned them the victor of the Coffee Way galaxy. And this was the letter grade rating of C+. Which,
C+.
Remember,
yeah,
I think C+ is fine.
C+ is great. Again, that's great from two guys who this isn't their niche.
That's what. I was just about to say that.
Yeah, because this again. Now I'm a Japanese RPG fan. Nick there is like an Elden Ring, Dark Souls action fan a lot of the time.
Yep.
This is a game that neither of us play a lot, and we thought it was a C+. So that people who play these games, that's an A, a B and an A. That's a great game.
Easy A for loads of people. Loads of people. I mean, just the fact that this 10-year-old game still gets updates, still has a community or fan base, that tells you enough.
Yeah, because then all reviews are due on perspective of the person reviewing it. And like I said, so this game is actually pretty good if this is your thing. And C+, like you said, is respectable. Yep. You know, if it's a crap game, we'd give it an F. C+ is a perfectly good score. And it is a good game. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the time I played with it.
You did. I did. I don't want to say not, but I fell asleep.
You did. I'm not surprised. You've got all the parenting and everything like that, and then all the text. I can just see it. I can see it. I can see you literally falling asleep with the control in your hand.
Absolutely. So, yeah, thank you, everyone, for listening to this week's episode of the Critical Arcade Podcast. We'd appreciate if you leave a review so more people can find us on whatever app this is you're listening on. You could go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. We'll be releasing episodes on there as well. And besides that, Dave, now that they know where they can follow Critical Arcade, where can they follow you?
Well, you can find me out and about, but during my fun escapades in Stellaris, I actually took over and befriended the Borg. So if you are Star Trek fans and you do know who the Borg are, they assimilate races into a grand AI architecture, so to speak. And if you do come find me, I will have them assimilate you, and you will no longer have a conscious mind, and you will just be part of the Borg.
That's what the Borg do?
They do. They're kind of horrible. They actually assimilated Jean-Luc Picard. They actually almost killed him. Yeah, no, it's a big deal. The Borg are a big deal. And I'm friends with them now. So if you want to be assimilated into a big square spaceship as a robot hybrid human thing, by all means, come find me.
Don't find Dave. Also, listeners, I don't think Dave is friends with the Borg. I think they assimilated him.
God damn it. There's actually a phrase the Borg say, and I can't remember what it is.
Really?
There's a genuine catchphrase. They say,
that's exactly
I wish I could remember it. My mind's gone blank.
Borg Dave, what's next week's episode?
Oh, next week's game, it's one of the the best things we like about this podcast, we get to play a indie game, one of our favorite things, because indie games are just crushing it at the moment.
Hell yeah.
We're playing a game for the PlayStation 4, at least the version we're playing is the PlayStation 4's The Gardens Between. Very mysterious title.
I've never heard of.
Nor do I. Initial signs, it might be a gardening game. I doubt it.
Or a betweening game.
Sorry?
Or it could be a betweening game.
A betweening, yeah. I've never betweened in a garden anywhere before, anywhere else. So I look forward to it. Indie games are just knocking it out the park, so it's always fun playing an indie game.
They are. Come on, you need to go check out indie games, everyone. I love it.
So that's going to be fun. Listen to the next episode for The Gardens Between.
Please do, yes. And we'll see you then, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers.